chapter of the book of Proverbs, and we want to go further to get instructed about the next in this next chapter. I'm reading from the New King James Version, and it says, "Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender and only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words, keep my commands, and live." That's verse 4. So I'm going to stop there for the meantime. Now, there's something if we want to just look at, there are two definitions I saw of instruction because I feel like the word instruction is something that is very, very uh, paramount in the book of Proverbs in the sense that it speaks to the reality of what the book is generally about. Now, there are two definitions from the Oxford Languages. It says it's an instruction is like a direction or an order. But I want to really go along with this second definition of instruction, which is detailed information telling how something should be done, operated, or handled. So, when I read the second part, it brought something to my mind. Maybe a TV, maybe a laptop, maybe just an electronic device or something like that that is manufactured, is sent with something that is called a manual or an instruction. Okay, when you get this manual, this is how you operate this. This is what, because it said detailed information telling how something should be done, operated, or assembled. So, what are the things a father is supposed to give to his son or his children? He's supposed to give them instruction. And that's why that first verse, it say, hear my instruction, the instruction of a father. Because the father, I mean, whoever a father is to a child is supposed to help him or her. But because we are now trying to look at it in the light of the scriptures, one of the things that is very, very important for God, to God, for us, is to be able to have detailed information, detailed information about how our lives needs to be operated, detailed information about how our businesses needs to be operated, detailed information about how our families, our families, our marriages, all of those things. But what? So if you are starting a chapter and you are saying, "Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention." So it's more like, because when you're studying, when in this book of Proverbs, one thing that is very, very is really that is you have over and over again is persuasion. Like, I am trying to get you to understand what needs to be done. I am giving you all of this detailed information about how you need to take care of your health. I am giving you detailed information about how you need to take care of your neighbor, your parents, your loved ones, people you don't even love, people you have no business doing anything with. How are you supposed to relate with them? When you look at the books, some books in the Bible, maybe like Leviticus, maybe like Numbers, maybe like Deuteronomy, they are just, they are not the, especially Leviticus, it's not the kind of book you want to quickly refer to in scriptures, but there are a lot of instruction in it. Now, why is it so important for God to tell the children of Israel, hey, don't eat this, don't do this, don't take this kind of food? When I look at it, most times we'll be like, those are the times. Yes, those are the times. But most of those things still apply in a lot of sense. If God said, don't eat this, I made it, but don't eat it. There's a reason why. You understand? When he called Adam and Eve and said, hey, I have blessed this place. I give you this garden. Everything in it is for you. But this tree and this other, this one, don't touch it. As humans, that's the first thing you want to go and try to touch. So it's just like the situation with us. When we are getting instructions, when we are getting detailed information about these are the things you need to do and not to do. Oh, this is your TV. When you take it, the first thing you want to do is throw the instruction manual away. Like, am I just getting a TV? You want to start just assembling it whichever way you like. Even if it's not the way the manufacturer wants it to be done. What am I driving at? I'm driving at the fact that instruction is what will keep you alive. Instruction is you getting out of your house. Like you get the key to your car right now. You get in front, you get into your car, you just start the car. And then if you are driving in a country that is maybe like left-handed or right-handed, all of those kind of a thing, let's assume you are driving in a country that is right-handed, and then you start driving on the left hand. Anyone seeing you coming will be like, no, someone is sick here. Like someone is going crazy here. And then they probably want to call the police and say, someone needs attention. Or maybe they even need to call a fire or safety or health people to come in to rescue whatsoever is happening to such a person. So why is all this very, very important? It's very, very important for us to understand the power of instruction and from whom we are getting it. Why are you receiving instruction from a father? Because most times fathers have gone through all of this. God has gone ahead of you to see things ahead of you. He knows which way is best for you. That's why you need to listen to him. And for you as a man, because sometimes I feel like manhood, yeah, there are a lot of things women have suffered, which is legit and all of that, but at the same time, you cannot discount the things that a lot of. And so, if you are a man and you are listening to me today, let me say to you, all of your experiences counts. All of the things you have gone through in life counts. And they are supposed to help you be a better father to your sons, your daughters, how to help them to be able to live their lives, be better, have a better advantage, hopefully, than you. So that's just some kind of a way by way of just getting us started on that chapter 4 of Proverbs. Now, the other thing is the verse 2. Let's go to verse 2. It says, "For I give you good doctrine." It said, "Do not forsake my law." When I saw the word forsake my law, now, if you remember, if you have been following the podcast, you remember in chapter 3, he said, "Do not forget my law." And I said, forget is more like unintentional. It's like maybe a lot of other activities came in the middle of it and then you forgot. Yeah, things like that happen. But now, he has told you before. This is more like taking it a little further. That look, initially I told you to just not forget. Now I need to be more emphatic. Do not forsake. It's more like this is a second stage to the previous instruction, right? That do not forsake. Because at the initial stage, a lot of activities came on, some things happened, you missed the idea, all of those kind of things happen. But now you are aware of the law. I have given you the understanding of what the law is, how it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to be for you, and all of those kind of things. Do not forsake it. When you get the manual, when you get my instruction, when you get detailed information about how I understand life and the perspective of how I believe your life should be going, don't throw it aside. That's what he's saying. When I give you this TV manual, don't put it on the desk, on the somewhere for dust to settle on it. I am giving you for you to be able to follow it. The Bible says something like line upon line, precept upon precept, so that you're able to follow those instructions because that is what life is. And once you're able to do that, it's going to make your journey easier because life is a journey. When you get that kind of understanding about that, you cannot forsake it. I have told you before not to forget it, but right now I'm saying it again. Don't forsake, because when you forsake it, has it could have some detrimental effects, sometimes down along the line. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. When verse 3, when I was my father's son, tender and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, verse 4, let your heart retain my words, keep my commands and live. So if you are reading this chapter now, if you have read from verse 1 to verse 4, what you'll be feeling like is like, oh, there are different things. I'm telling you, it's just the same thing. I have told you before, do not forget the law. I am telling you again, you need to understand instruction. I am telling you further, you need to not forsake it. Now he's explaining it on a broader term. He said, look, let your heart retain it. When you take this instruction, let Psalm 119, verse 9, your word have I hid in my heart. Let your heart retain it. Let your heart, let it have foundation in your heart. Let it build a whole structure in your heart. Let it build, let it be the one in control of your mindset. Let it be the one that directs how you think. Let it be the one that guides how you move. Let it be the one that is affecting all the decisions you are making. That's why I say retain it. Lay the foundation. When you say retain something, that's where you have the foundation. It's already established. You want to build a house, you need to retain a foundation for the house. So when you are trying to build a house, the first thing is the foundation. Retain it. That's what he's saying. Then he said, keep my commandments. Keep the foundation, build the structure, and live. So in in essence, what you need is to keep this word. You cannot play with it. This is not something to toy with, right? Retain it. Get a CFO for it. Let your heart, let nothing. If there are other people, other forces that have gotten a CFO for a place in your heart, tell them, sorry, we are liquidating. We are canceling that CFO. Now we have a new CFO from the one who holds this structure, who holds this heart, who holds this mind. Let's give him his space already. So he gets to be the one who dictates how things move. He gets to be the one who has the whole structure of how this particular life moves, not by myself, but by his word. So once we understand this kind of things, it helps us to be able to walk as he wants us to walk. Verse 5 said, get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the word of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. So now, we have bottled it down. We have started coming down to what this whole thing is. It is back to the issue of wisdom. He said, get wisdom, get understanding. I feel like there are a million words for wisdom, you know? But wisdom is just wisdom. And this is something I cannot overemphasize in the course of all of these talks from the book of Proverbs. If there is any other word for Proverbs, for that book, it's wisdom. If the book is saying, if the whole book of Proverbs is saying anything to you, get this old idea. It's wisdom. That's the only thing that's going to set you apart. That's what he's saying. The one thing that comes to your mind when you're thinking about Solomon, oh, he was a man of wisdom. Now, there's one scenario which is very, very paramount. Oh, yeah, the two women are going to split a child into two and blah, blah, blah. That was one of those things that we could recall. But this is just something, you know, it's just like one thing you know about this man is that he was a man of exceptional wisdom. So if you are listening and you are thinking, I need to be wise, Solomon was a man of wisdom. Solomon lived a life of wisdom. Solomon was different in his approach to life. He was a man of peace. There were wars going on around him. It was not affecting him. Because why? He was in charge of the world. He was the world government at the time. He had a lot of weapons and everything, but he was not fighting any war. He was just there, having it all, having it all, and living his life. Why? Because he allowed wisdom to take the lead. He allowed instruction to take the lead. He allowed understanding to be his companion. So, and then once you know, It's just the way he puts the wisdom. That's the way. That's the way I. Sometimes it's so. Sometimes you feel like, how do I relate with wisdom like this? Is the verse 6. Say, do not forsake her. She will preserve you. Love her and she will keep you. He's feeling like this is a human being. Like this is a physical figure. Yeah. When you there's the story of this man. Okay, no, it's not the story. There's this. What's the name? When you're reading King James version sometimes, and there's this particular story in there where Jesus said, "Go to so house, go to so place. You will find a coat tied at the place where two ways met." He said, "Bring him." When King James is using him, I know for some of us who read Bible and Bible scholar, we might feel like, no, that's not right. Is it? But there's something about that thing, and there's also the fact that the Bible said is the place where two ways met. So I feel like it's not just ordinary. So I feel like wisdom, you can look at it as, oh, it's just a thing. But this is a personality by itself. If you look at it as a personality that needs to indwell you, that needs to be inside of your heart, the one that you need to give the CEO of your heart, the one that needs to lay a foundation in your heart, the one that needs to build a structure in your heart is wisdom. So that's the one, that's all of these things that is being, you know, you know, kind of encapsulated in this verse 6, where he said, love her, she will keep you. Do not forsake her, she will preserve you. If you have time, if you create time, if you give special attention, right, to wisdom, you are going to be surprised the kind of output you're going to get. Moving forward, verse 7. I feel like this verse 7, chapter 4, verse 7 is one of the most verses in the whole of the book of Proverbs. Chapter 4 is one of the best chapters, and verse 7 and verse 23 are exceptional verses. And from time to time we quote them. What did they say? Say, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Get wisdom. Get understanding. Get wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the one that needs to have a space. Wisdom is the one you need to allow me to use the word adore. Wisdom is the one you need to care for. Wisdom is the one you need to love on. Wisdom is the one you need to create space for. Wisdom is the one you need to eject other tenants for. Wisdom is the one you need to make the landlord. It doesn't have to be tenant anymore. Because it's the principal thing. Because when we operate in wisdom, it gives us outstanding, like you're on a different level. That's just it. Verse 8, exalt her and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. It's so easy to love on. When you make wisdom a personality, it's easier to describe for Solomon at this point. Solomon generally is a lover boy, right? And so when he's like, look, I'm trying to love on wisdom. This is the one that is making me different. This is the one that is making me exceptional. This is the one that is making me outstanding. I need to exalt her. I need to promote her. She will promote me if I exalt her. She will bring me honor if I embrace her. She will place on my head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory she will deliver to me. That's verse 9. So these are more like, so in this talk that I'm trying to get you into, what I'm trying to help you realize is there are some things Solomon translated the idea of wisdom. He personalized it. He made wisdom to be like, oh, this is a human being that I'm loving on, and it's just like, it's keeping me, the one that I'm exalting, she's promoting me, the one I'm bringing, the one that is bringing me honor because I embrace her. You understand? So when you see wisdom like in a lovely situation, in a love situation, that's what it presented wisdom to us this time as. Like, look, say wisdom as this is my lover. This is the love, this is the love of my life. This is the one I need to love every day. You don't forget the love of your life. You don't assume they don't, you don't think they don't exist. That's the person you think about all the time. That's the person you are thinking about, oh, they have to be okay. That's the person you are thinking about, oh, what can I do to make them happy? That's the person you are thinking about, oh, what good thing can I do for this person? That's the way you need to love on wisdom. That's the way you need to see wisdom. It's not just a thing, it's a personality. Like, that's who wisdom is. And once you walk with wisdom in that realm, it changes the game for you. It makes a difference. And it places you beyond and above, which is what an average person wants. So understand this perspective of Solomon, that loving on wisdom, interacting with wisdom in exceptional way as my lover has changed the game for me. That's what Solomon is saying. So if you want to walk in wisdom and be exceptional in wisdom, you need to love on wisdom in a different light, in a different way, and just let it flow. Just walk in it, walk with it, live with it, be with it, love on it. Let it embrace you. Just do everything that you want to do to someone you love. That's what wisdom is. That's who wisdom is. That's how wisdom rolls. So when you roll with wisdom like that, the outcome is going to be exceptional. It's going to be powerful because that's how God intended for it to be from day one. Wisdom will make a whole lot of difference in your life. It will make a whole lot of difference in your family. It will make a whole lot of difference in how you see things and how your life turns out to be. Because that's exactly what happened with Solomon. Because he cared and loved and worked and created space of interaction with wisdom and all of those times, he gave it wisdom, time, and everything. It made a whole lot of difference in who he became as the king in Israel. I'm on verse 10. It said, hear my son, receive my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. Length of days again. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in the right path. When you walk, your step will not be hindered. When you run, you will not stumble. Take firm mode of instruction. Do not let go. Keep her, and she's your life. So this lover boy is going on ahead to just still love and wisdom. To just be the boyfriend, the husband, the lover of wisdom. To just say, oh look, this is this is the best. Just whatsoever way you want to describe it in a love situation. Now look, wisdom is the one you need to love on. Because one is going to give you life, long life. You know, generally speaking, we all want to live long, as long as we're healthy. And this is what wisdom is about. You know, the thing is, when you walk in wisdom, it dictates a lot of things about how you live life, the places you are supposed to be, the places you are not supposed to be, the things you are supposed to say, the things you are not supposed to say, the ways you are supposed to act, the ways you are not supposed, all of those kind of things, they are involved in how wisdom operates. So that's why it adds life to you. Because a lot of people die because they are where they are not supposed to be. And a lot of other reasons. We could give a million reasons why people could die. But wisdom can cover all of those situations. That's who wisdom is. That's why it says, wisdom, when you embrace wisdom, is going to guarantee long life. It says it's going to lead you In that verse 11, it says, I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in right paths. So there's a path that is right. There is a path that is wrong. Right? So when you get that kind of understanding, there is the so what wisdom is supposed to do is to guide you in the right path. Now they are wrong paths. People find themselves in wrong paths, land in all kind of things. Sometimes things they did not even preempt, things they did not plan for. They get into it and sometimes they are stuck, they cannot get out. Because they probably just walked, oh, my friend said this, oh, this person said that. No. When we want to begin to live this life of wisdom, we cannot act like that. We cannot live like that. We have to act according to wisdom, as wisdom will guide us. Say, I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in the right path. Verse 12. When you walk, your step will not be hindered. I'm like, my step will not be hindered? How? I'll read verse 12 from New Living Translation. It says, when you walk, you won't be held back. When you run, you won't stumble. You won't be held back. That's New Living Translation. New King James says, when you walk, your step will not be hindered. You won't be held back. You won't be blocked. You won't be hindered. Because once you remember in verse 11, it says you're going to go in the right path, right? So when you are in the right path, nothing is going to hinder you. Because it's the one who created that right path for you. That's who wisdom is. It's the one who guides you in the right path. All it takes, there are a lot of things we can just feel like, oh, it doesn't really matter. We can just do it this way. This is how some people did it. I mean, it's not even wrong to do things after the way some people did it, which is quite okay. But what makes it different is when we are doing it in wisdom. If we are acting, if we're on the right path. There's a right path, there's a wrong path. Verse 13. Say, take firm hold of instruction. Do not let go. Keep her. She is your life. Instruction again. Right? Detailed information. Detailed guidance. Detailed manner. Detailed information about your life. Sometimes I feel like as humans, we wake up every day and feel like, oh, this is how my life is going to go. Everyone has that right, of course. But what can make your own life different is when you allow wisdom, the wisdom of God, to be the lead around your life, to be the lead in front of you, to be the one in taking you in the right path. Verse 14. Do not enter the path of the wicked. Okay, we talked about right path, right? Now there's another path here. It said, do not enter the path of the wicked. So there's a path for the wicked, there's the right path. And do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it. Do not travel in it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil. And their sleep is taken unless they have made someone fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. So, we are looking at two parts here. There's the path that is the right path. There is the path that is the wrong path. What are the things in the wrong path? It is the wrong path, alias the path of the wicked, if you call it that. And then he told us all the things that are on the path of the wicked. He said they want to do evil all the time. You understand? When people are, sometimes it feels like, someone is walking in the darkness. And you don't see things that are coming from far. You don't see people who are coming from afar. People might want to attack you. That's what like walking in the wrong path looks like. And walking in the right path is like the day. You can see a mile, 10 miles, or 5 miles, let's say a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles ahead of you, behind you, right, and all over the place. Why? Because you are walking in the right path. It ensures you are secured. It provides security. This everything that I am trying to explain to you now is not literal path, literal road. This is the reality about life, the reality about your life, how it's supposed to be guided, so to say. So, you know, there are ways you're supposed to walk in. If Bible said there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end of it is destruction. That's the part of wickedness that we're talking about. That's the wrong part that we mentioned before. Now, the right path also went further in verse 18. He said, but the right path, but the path of the just, which is the right path, is like the shining sun. This is a very popular scripture. He said, the path of the right, the path of the just is like what? A daylight. The path of the wicked is like darkness, it's like violence, it's like wickedness, like somewhere to falling, it's like a pit, it's like destruction, everything negative. But then he said the path of the just, the path that is right, is the light, it's like the shining sun. How does that sound in the ear? It's it's so nice to hear such. That shines even brighter unto the perfect day. You know when your kids tell you, hey, this is a perfect day, what do you see? You go outside, you see the sun. It's so nice everywhere. It's warm, not too nice weather. That's what they call a perfect day to them, right? And no, so this is what the Bible is talking about. It said the path of the just is shining like a path. Everybody wants to be out on a perfect day. Yeah. So it says your path is like that perfect day. All it takes is for you to love on wisdom. Just embrace it. Just let wisdom be your lover. And it's going to keep making every day that perfect day. The day where you can just go around the beach, have some nice sun, just lay down there. All of it's perfect. That's what it feels like. That's what it's, if you're going to describe it like a kind of fun way, that's the way you can put it. That's what it says the path of the right. But the way to get out and living that life is by embracing wisdom. Is by, and how do you embrace wisdom? Probably I need to just say it's like this. Wisdom is one, the personality of God. God is wisdom. So now, if I put it to you that God is wisdom, oh yeah, I know. But it is more than that. The part of God that you see is what you know. When Moses said, God, I want to see you, I said, okay, you can't see everything. Let me just show you something small, tiny. And then he showed him something small. And then he was never the same again. Why? It's just so that little aspect. So one little aspect of God, if you just have that little aspect, that little insight into how God is in wisdom, it's going to change the game for you. That's what this whole drama about this wisdom that I probably have been repeating. Yes, it's an angle from which to know God. Now you say, oh, we are supposed to know God in all of his. Yes, you are supposed to know God in all of his knowing. Yeah. You know what they call specialization? You say, okay, I want to specialize in knowing you as wisdom. And you can be sure it's going to be different. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. Amen. 19 says, the way of the wicked, now, you don't want to go into that. It's like darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. So, you know, it's just, it's funny sometimes, right? When the part that is funny to me is they do not know what makes them humble. Yeah, they don't, because they are the ones who made a whole lot of traps for every other people. That's what wickedness is. They're always setting traps. They're putting traps here and there, and then they begin to fall into it. Oh, we don't know what. Yes, you created it. That's what it is. So when you open your heart and you embrace God as your wisdom and you allow Him to walk in you, you give Him space as wisdom to direct you, to guide you, to lead you, to rule your spirit, it makes you an exceptional person. That's going to take you on a different level, on a different journey than where, oh, you just want to know God generally. Yes, you can know God generally. But this work, if you are going to be the kind of people God can depend, one of the things that made Jesus different throughout his dwelling here on earth was the wisdom with which he spoke. When he addressed Pilate, Pilate said, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He said, "Yes, you said so." You understand? Like, you don't want, because sometimes for us we feel like it's a white or black. No, it's not about white or black. If you look at if you look at all of his parables, how did he get to sharing parables? Because they asked him a question, say, okay, there was the situation with this man, blah blah blah. Say, oh God, just answer the question. This is what I'm asking you. It said the answer is not yes or no. The answer is in the story I'm trying to tell you. And then he gives those teaching. He explains those parables. Then he said, oh, this and all of those. Then you come to find out, yeah, there's a lot to learn than him just answering A. Oh, the answer is A or B. No, it's not like that. So sometimes you need to operate in that grace, in that wisdom. Allow wisdom, God has wisdom, to dwell in you. Verse 20. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my saying. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to all their flesh. Each time I get to this song, because it's a song. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my saying. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart. For they are life to those who find them, health to all their flesh. They are life to those who find them, health to all their flesh. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my say. Give attention. I don't know what better way God. There's nothing. In fact, the only thing God wants from you is just for you to give Him your attention, like 24/7. And that's what wisdom wants to do. It wants to take your attention away from all of the things that are happening around this world. Yes. And to let you focus on Him, because He alone has everything. Say, do not let them depart. Do not let these words of mine depart from your heart. Say, keep them in the midst of your heart. Remember the foundation we are trying to lay initially, right? We are taking out every tenant we have allowed to occupy our thoughts, our heart, our mind, and all of that. And we are saying we are laying a foundation. And the foundation is wisdom. And we are building. Our structure is wisdom. Our thought process. So when wisdom occupies your mindset, what happens? You act accordingly. Because it's your mind that dictates how you act. Right? So that's just about that song. If you have, it's a song. I'm not sure I even remember who sang the song right now, but it's a very beautiful song. It's something we need to. Then verse 22 says, "For they are life to those who find them, and health to all their flesh." So even though wisdom wants to indwell you and guide you and embrace you and lead your life and fill you, give you the crown of glory and everything, it still wants to give you sound health. It says health to all their flesh, their bones, their marrow, their bloodstream, everything. It gives them health. And that leads me back to what is it Exodus. Is it Exodus 23:15? Where it says, He has blessed our food and our water. That's wisdom speaking at that point. That He has blessed our food and our water. Let me get to it. Exodus Okay, anyway, we'll come back to that. So he has blessed our food and our water and all that, and none of these diseases which came upon Egyptian will ever come upon us. So our health is very important to him, and that's what he will do for us when we embrace and walk in wisdom and love and wisdom and all that. So we're going to verse 23. With this and verse 7 I mentioned before are about the most important verses in this particular chapter for me. And of course, this chapter is about the best of all for me in this whole book. So it says in verse 20, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. Keep your heart with all diligence. All diligence. Don't spare any diligence. Be diligent about how you operate in your mind. Keep it. Be intentional. Do not play with it. Don't even give any space to any other thing. I said, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. When you allow your mind to be guided by His word, when you allow your thought process, your heart, as the Bible will always put it, to be diligently under His control, what happens to you? Life issues, your decisions, your one day to day, second to second, minute to minute is guided by Him. He will lead you in the right path, remember? Verse 24 say, put away from you a deceitful mouth and put perverse lips far from you. 25. Do not forget this. 25. Let your eyes look straight ahead. You know, as a young man, one of the things that when I read the scripture, the first time I read it, when he said, look straight ahead. You know, for me as a young man, then I was just like, oh, I'm just trying to live a life and all of those things, trying to be in the right places, have my thought process, think in the right things and all of those stuff. So when I came to this scripture, I'm like, yes, this is it. Look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you. Now, does it mean, because you know, for a man, what you see most of the time is what affects you. You know, when you hear about things like, oh, someone is being seduced, it's because of what he saw. When you hear about things, oh, someone is flirting, it's because of what he saw, and all of those kind of things. So at that time, growing up as a young Christian, I told myself, if the Bible said look straight, that's the only thing I'm going to be doing. So for you, if you're a young man, I want you to just take a leaf from that. You can look straight. It keeps your heart in the right places. It keeps your thought process in the right places. It keeps you grounded, so that, because there are going to be distractions. That's just the bottom. There are going to be distractions. There are going to be distractions every day, every day, every day. So, but once you tell yourself, I cannot be distracted, I have to look straight ahead, because that's what scripture says, that's what you're going to do. Because if you don't, you're going to be looking at something else. And once you're looking at those things, and this applies to ladies too, learn to look straight ahead of you. Look straight before you. Straight does, yes, physically, yes, but also in every emotional, spiritual sense, look straight. Be focused. Let your eye be one, like the Bible said. Let your eye be one. Face where you're going. Be centered on what you're trying to do. Be focused on where you're trying to get to. Be in the space of what you are trying to be. Don't be something else. Focus on where you're going. That alone makes a whole lot of difference. It's going to help you think right. It's going to help you speak right. It's going to help you live right. It's going to help you be focused on achieving your goals. This is it. Verse 25, look straight. And then verse 27 also corroborates. Say, do not turn to the left, to the right or left. Remove your foot from you. So when it says look straight, if you don't get that part, what I mean is don't go left or right. Face where you are going. Be inside of wisdom. That is the straight place you are going. Embrace it. Live it. Day to day. That's all you're supposed to be. Because that's what you came to this planet to do. When we understand wisdom as very, very essential to how we think and the things we do, it will make a whole lot of difference at the end of the day. So let me conclude with verse 26. Say, ponder the path of your feet and let all your ways be established. So understand exactly where your feet is going, where you need to be, the places you don't have to be, and all of those stuff. So that in the end of the day, you can be proud of everything you have done. Conclusively, love on wisdom. Create space for wisdom. Issue quick notice to every strange tenant occupying your mind, your thought, and everything. Allow wisdom to indwell you. You know, wisdom is a perspective of God you need to know and allow to guide your life. Allow wisdom to indwell you. Allow wisdom to guide you. Allow wisdom to lead you on the right path. There's a right path, there's a wrong path. Focus on your attention on seeking wisdom, embracing, loving wisdom, and just creating space. You know, it's like a plant. That's what wisdom is. Like a plant. You nurse it, you nurture it. If there's any weed trying to grow around it, you remove it and throw it away. And you do all of that. Why? Because you love it. So love and wisdom today is going to make a whole lot of difference in your life.